I bet you the people that live on this street in Youngstown, Ohio, would never imagine that almost 100 years ago, a tragedy occurred at 443 Marion Avenue, right on the same street I'm walking down right now. A tragedy where 7 members of the de Capua family were brutally murdered by Tony de Capua, 42 years of age. Why did he murder 7 members of his family? Because, well, he lost his job and there was no money coming in. And in his diseased brain, he felt the only way out of his situation was just to kill his entire family. Let's go back to September 5th, 1927. This town, this section, this city, this street right here looks vastly different. You're going to imagine there's a lot of very small houses on this street. In this neighborhood, very heavily immigrant, a lot of Italians. The steel mills, that's what everybody is relying on for employment. And a lot of those Italian immigrants that came from Italy, that came from Sicily, Sicilian immigrants, Eastern European, Western European immigrants, all coming to this country to find a better life for themselves and for their family. So on that day, Tony de Capua, 42 years old, maybe 43, depending on the article that you want to read, he is out of work, right? Don't know why, don't know, maybe he lost his job, maybe he did something wrong at work, maybe work slowed down, who knows. So he has 7 or 8 kids to feed, a whole house of people that are relying on him to be the provider, to be the caretaker, so to speak. So on that evening after dinner, in the days prior to that event, I believe Tony kind of figured out the only way that he can get out of this situation is to basically just go ahead and kill everybody. So he goes down to the basement and he calls for his wife, Mary, to come downstairs. When she comes down to the basement, he pulls out a .32 caliber pistol, pop, 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 just shoots her, right? And then you got to imagine, everybody just had dinner, so everybody's upstairs like, what the heck's going on down there? He comes racing out of the basement and just starts firing shots, pop, 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 pop. And in the process, he kills 3 of his kids, Elizabeth, 11, Anna, 7, and Catherine, 2 months. He also shoots 6-year-old Maria, and then he shoots 2 of his granddaughters, June, 2 years old, and Gladys, 3 months. Now, the different articles, because the reporting on this crime was not very good, so different newspapers indicate whether it was 4 of his kids and 2 of his grandkids, or 3 of his kids and 3 of his grandkids. I don't know. But he murdered 6 children. He murdered 2 3-month-old babies. And this guy's going crazy. So he comes out on this street right now where I'm at, and there's neighbors, like, they're going around. And imagine, back in those days, not everybody has a phone, right? And not everybody speaks English. So you got neighbors calling the police like, la da 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 da, yada yada yada, what's going on, blah blah blah. And the police are like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't speak English very well. It's like, this guy's crazy, guy's shooting, this guy's crazy, guy's shooting, crazy guy's shooting. So the police arrive, and at that point, he had already shot 2 more of his neighbors. I guess this guy had been saving bullets up for quite a long time, because the .32 caliber, as I remember, as I know, does not hold a whole lot of ammunition. So he's probably just reloading, firing. And a police officer pulls up, and he shoots the cop too. So they get into a firefight between him and the police. They shoot at him with all they have. Amazingly, he survives. They take him into custody. They take him to the hospital. He was pretty close to have been killed himself. And supposedly, while he was in the hospital, he says, you know, the last bullet was supposed to be for myself, but the gun jammed. Yeah, right. Typical coward. Typical coward says something like that. So this is 441 Marion right here. That's 442 Marion. So the house used to stand where that car is sitting right there. And amazingly enough, there's not a whole lot of pictures online about this story, there's not even any pictures of the deceased. So right here, this guy just murdered 7 members of his family, 6 children, and his wife. And he's standing right where I'm standing, probably looking up and looking down and just looking for people to shoot. Look at this guy's crazy. This guy's he's foaming at the mouth. This guy's a madman. Absolutely terrible. We're heading right now to the final resting place of the de Capua family. Straight ahead right here is the headstone, and on this is the name of Mary de Capua. Now, on the finder grave, it says that she's buried with 4 of her children, Elizabeth, Anna, Maria, and Catherine. Of course, on the other article, it says 3 children were killed, and then one of the children killed was the grandchild. I think they were confused because one of the de Capua's babies were 3 months old. They just had a baby, so I think a lot of the newspaper reporters were confused that the woman just gave birth to a 2-month-old. But I do not know why the children do not have headstones. I find that very, very odd. And her maiden name was Infante. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I don't know who this is in relation to her, but there is an Infante right here. So rest in peace to all of the de Capua children who were killed by that monster. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Have a good one. Be safe, y'all. Peace out.